Do you know what it's like living with DID? Do you have any experiences of lost time? Today I'm going to share some of my experiences of losing time, what it's like living with DID, and I'm going to do my makeup at the same time. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, make sure you stick around and let's get going. Hey everybody, and welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Sheena and makeup is like therapy for me. Today I'm gonna do my makeup and just tell you about how things have been living with DID. Only one problem. I think I need to make a few little adjustments on where everything is at so that I can actually see my mirror while I use my camera. Did not plan for that very well. Now, I'm not really going to focus on the makeup products that I'm using, so I'm not going to talk about them. I feel like that adjusted the light and made it darker. Maybe not. I'm just putting my mirror beside my camera. I just totally lost track of what I was thinking, and my brain went completely blank. And I had no clue what I was going to tell you, and I still have no clue what I was going to tell you. And that is just part of what it's like living with DID, and it sucks. It really sucks a lot, and I wish it was something that didn't happen to me, but it does happen every day. Now, I decided I was going to start sharing my DID videos here because mental health is so important, and I used to have a channel. I will link it down below, and it has some DID videos, but I decided I can't ever decide what I want to do because I have DID. So one day I want to do beauty, one day I want to do mental health, one day I want to do Bible journaling, one day I want to share about my dogs, and it's just all over the place. And that's how my life is because I have DID. Now, if you didn't know, I do own a dog kennel. I breed and raise Shih Tzus, and I do have a channel where I share my Shih Tzus and I share about them, and you can see them. I will also link that channel down below. I need a baby wipe. I forgot to get a baby wipe out. Trying to make sure I don't roll over my dog's tail, but that I can get as close as I need to get. So I learned this trick from a YouTuber, and all the makeup that I'm using will be in the description bar so you can know what I'm using. But I learned this trick from YouTuber, and you do the putty primer. I put it in first. I have a lot of texture on my skin, so right now I'm doing it all over. And then after the putty primer, you do the Power Grip primer. Between each one, you let it dry. And then after it is dry, you spray it with setting spray and let that dry. And it's supposed to really help your makeup. So that's what I've been doing, and I've been really enjoying it. So I went to the beach. I went to the beach for a month, and I got a tan. I'm loving the tan, but now I only have one foundation that matches my skin. So I struggle with remembering exactly when I lose time. I generally figure it out when somebody tells me that I did something or didn't do something and I don't remember it. That tends to be the worst part of it, is the time loss and not knowing what I did and things not getting done and different things happening than what I was expecting. And that is definitely the worst part of having DID for me, and how it just interferes with everything in life. I have to make sure that my parts do what I'm supposed to do each day, which they don't always do. And that can be very difficult. You know, I see a lot of people that do meet this part and meet that part, and I can't do that because mine are not interested in coming out. and like associating with people that they don't know. I got it in the eye and it is burning. Burning bad. A lot of my alters, when they come out, they don't know my husband. They don't know that I have kids, and all of that makes things not good for my life. I was very irritated. Let's get back to where we were, and I'll continue with my makeup, and hopefully I won't lose track of what I'm talking about again, because my brain keeps going blank, and it's probably because my alters don't want to share DID with the world. You know, there are just some makeup products that I cannot put on and talk at the same time. And I always wonder how other YouTubers share so much of their DID, because my system does not like to share that much, and it's very hard for us. So it always makes me wonder how other ones are able to do that. I always wonder, like, how are you able, this eye is gonna give me fit, how people are able to share the things that they're able to share. And you know, there's parts that I would like to share that my system just doesn't allow me to share. So I'm only going to share what I can, and most of that being, we have DID. It affects our everyday life. It affects our relationships. It affects our work. It affects everything in our life. I'm going to use this Chucky blush because I just haven't, I've used the corally one, but I want to use the pinker one, and I haven't done that yet. So I decided I was going to do that today. And if we weren't married, we would probably be on disability because of our DID, but because of our lack of work history and because of us being married, so they count my husband's income, I'm not able to get on disability. But we are pretty certain that if I wasn't married, that I would be able to get on disability. So most of my alters are kids, which is why you don't really see a whole lot of mine, because they're minors, and you know, they have to be protected, because there was a point in our life that we weren't protected, and that's how they were formed. But now they have to be protected. Okay, my battery died, so I had to change out my battery. Hopefully everything is set back up where it needs to be so that everything looks good. I'm gonna do my eyeshadow, and I'm actually using the Juvia's Place Candy Shop palette. I've used this a couple of times, but I just want to use it some more. I really have enjoyed this palette so far, and you know, I just felt like using it some more would be the right thing to do. Now, what was I saying? Oh yeah. So most of my parts are minors, and you know, that makes it where they have to have their identity protected more, and you're not going to see as much of mine because of them being minors. And you know, you're just not going to see them. You may see Vanessa, she's an adult, but other than Vanessa, you're not going to see a ton of parts, because so many of my parts are minors. As I really like this palette. I really like it a lot. It's really pretty. Let's talk about how I have been doing all in all. For those of you that don't know, I have fibromyalgia, and I have had back surgery earlier this year. I have recovered really well from my back surgery. I have learned what medicine, like, I absolutely cannot miss, or my fibromyalgia is going to flare up like crazy. And I know that sounds weird, but I do have certain medicines that if I miss them, I get really sick. and it's just really hard to function. I'm kind of debating between different colors. I had a plan in my head, and then I'm kind of changing it in my mind. And that really goes back to having DID. I mean, you know, different parts see the palette and they're like, ooh, I really want to do this, or oh, I really want to do that. And that just kind of makes it difficult. But I really want to use some colors that we haven't used. So I'm going to stick with my original plan. And, you know, I did have a really bad flare-up with my fibromyalgia when I was at the beach. And then I have also had another flare-up with it since I've been home. And it's just kind of been rough. When I have flare-ups, depending on what part is fronting, it will depend on just how rough it is. When certain parts front, it helps minimize the pain, but when other parts front, it can make the pain worse. So it really just varies depending on, you know, how I'm feeling, or, you know, what part's fronting will depend on how I end up feeling, which can be pretty hard. Use my color switch because I want to use this brush for another color. You know, sometimes I feel like the DID is actually worse. The fibromyalgia is actually worse of a problem for me than the DID. But then something will happen and I'm like, oh, okay. And it really just throws my system off course and messes us up and makes things hard and difficult, and I don't like that. I mean, I want life to be much more simple, you know, but it doesn't work out that way. I do really like the shades I've used from this palette. I think I'm going to use my highlighter that I used to do my inner corner. Probably should have worn some waterproof mascara today because this eye is watering so bad, but it'll be okay. I really like this lipstick with this palette though. It's pretty good. So I think that's all for today. If you have any questions about DID, leave them down in the comments and I'll be glad to do a video talking about it. And if you have any questions about anything else, fibromyalgia, leave them down in the comments. If I don't answer in the comments, I'll answer in another video. And I hope you all have a great day. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit the little bell beside it so you don't miss any of my future uploads. And I'll see you next time. Bye guys.